We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestles better than Daniel Bryan, Bryan Daniels, better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage and enjoy the show. Good evening, wrestling fans. I'm Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, and we are going to be doing our predictions for the 2026 Royal Rumble. It is less than 24 hours away now. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia, so it's an earlier start time. And I have to say, based on the stage alone, I am so excited. And we're going to jump headfirst into our predictions today. So joining me, I have got Clark Taylor and a head of opinions, Anthony Ricciardi. So a great team to run down this card with me. And let's kick things off with the Women's Royal Rumble match. Clark, I want to get your thoughts on this out the gate. Who is your pick to win it?
This one is very obvious to me, and I'm not saying I looked at the odds, but if you do, it backs it up. Liv Morgan is going to win this Royal Rumble. I love the idea of Liv Morgan winning the Royal Rumble. I love the idea of Liv's return here. It's time to figure out what's going on with her and the Judgment Day. Liv's a huge star. We saw what happened at Survivor Series. Liv and Dom, I think, is really, really important to the future of the WWE coming out of this. But the Judgment Day isn't so much. And I want this victory to be less about the Judgment Day and more about Liv Morgan, but I've got Liv picking up the win.
A big call, and you are right. Currently the bookies' favorite. I mean, personally, not my pick though, because I've been saying it all week. I'm stuck between two people. I'm absolutely certain it's going to be one of the two, and one of them is Liv Morgan. But the other one, who is my pick, is a returning Bianca Belair. Yes, I do think 2 years in a row we are going to have returning superstars winning the Women's Royal Rumble. I know that usually doesn't happen, but the fact of the matter is she has been out for nearly a year with a finger injury. That luck is just, I mean, that's unheard of. It is so unlucky. So I reckon as a reward for her hard work, they are going to give it to her. And at WrestleMania, we will get Jade Cargill against Bianca Belair. And we got Fernando Zayas agreeing with me in the comments as well. But Anthony, I know you have a little bit of a unique take when it comes to this one, so I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, they've been building up the Jordynne Grace Jade matchup, and I think the best way to establish Jordynne Grace on the main roster, because they really didn't do much with her in NXT once she became officially NXT. They did more with her when she was with TNA. I'd have her run the gauntlet in the Rumble. I'd have her enter at 1 or 2 and run the gauntlet, because that's how you establish somebody dominant. You want the juggernaut in Jordynne Grace against the unstoppable Jade. I think that's a logical move, especially if Bianca's not in play. That's the next other money match you could possibly get. So just assuming Bianca's not back, and I don't know what her status is, I think Jordynne makes a lot of sense since they're already building to it, and have her running the gauntlet would add another element to it.
I mean, look, I am not disagreeing necessarily, because you are right. It is something they've been building, and to have her win the Rumble, I mean, that would make her feel like a star out of the gates, because I'm going to be honest, so far, her run on SmackDown, it's kind of felt like something's missing. The crowd just are not reacting for her, and I don't think that's her fault in the slightest. I think it's very purely because, like we've always talked about, the why. You need a why in wrestling, and the main roster audience hasn't actually been told anything about Jordynne Grace. So to have her look like an absolute megastar, dominating the Rumble, running the gauntlet, that would make her that instantly, make her feel like a huge deal. So it makes a lot of sense. My counterpoint is, do you really think that storyline they're already doing where they're beating each other up constantly is going to go for, what, another 3.5 months?
That's the question, whether or not they can pull this out and drag this out. And that's going to happen no matter what situation you go. Even if you put Bianca in that position, it's a tough road to travel to keep a storyline fresh and compelling on the road to WrestleMania because there's such a long gap. Other than the Chamber, there's probably a Saturday Night main event somewhere thrown in. Somewhere
There's
thrown
one more
in there.
sandwiched in there. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I think part of the thing with Jordan is she did have a brief exposure on the main roster when she was with TNA when they had her in the Rumble, and part of that is the entrance music. I don't know. I know they changed it because of Braun Breaker, but like I think that was a mistake. You kind of already sort of built her with that, and I think people are still like, if I hear Jordan's music now, I still don't realize it's her. Like it's
it's very Death Rebel. It's very forgettable, for lack of a better word.
That's where I think Anthony, like, to us, we would all enjoy a Jordan Grace victory. I really like the prediction. It's weird. It's like because it's not that I disagree. I just think the times are so different. The fact that it's in Saudi Arabia, then you have this big Vegas. The way that they're trying to build this like extra special in a time capsule. There was a time where actually Jordan Grace would make the most sense to pull the trigger in the Rumble. I just weirdly feel like in the modern era now, the name that they're going to be looking for on Saturday is just going to be a little bit different. I still think the irony though is because first off, if your prediction came true, I would be the first one to be like, that's outstanding. Well done.
It's a big
good
call,
on you.
But if it's true,
it's a bit of a risk. But if it holds, like holy heck, I would be blown away. And that's something that I would really look forward to. I also though think that they can pull off. I want to call it 75% of what you said, even if she doesn't win the Rumble.
Oh yeah,
just a really strong performance. Maybe most eliminations. Maybe longest time in there. Something like that, where her name is being talked about coming out of the Rumble, I see as slightly more likely than the full-blown victory, but I really don't hate the idea. I want to emphasize that I don't dislike the idea at all.
I think she's going to have a strong showing, and the thing is, if you get somebody going gauntlet with that, it's got to be somebody credible that's believable that can do it. Jordan's one of those ones, Bianca's one of those, Rhea's one. Like, it's got to be somebody credible, especially for the women's Rumble, to go bell to bell. Like, you know what I mean? As far as I know, unless I'm mistaken, no one's done that yet, right? From the women's side,
the closest
from the women's side, no.
I know. On the
Belair, the final four.
Belair went from 3 to win it and was the Iron Woman.
That's the closest.
Right. That's the closest.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Bianca, because we just did the Mount Rushmore on Wednesday. Cheap plug, but she was the first selected of the women's Rumble winners by myself. And I had a really hard time with how impactful there are some other ones, but I went with that one just because I thought the performance was so impressive and it was a real breakout, and the fact that it led to a main event match to me was a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, we've got quite a few comments here. Adam is asking, what time is it airing in the UK, guys? Tomorrow it'll be airing at 8 p.m. UK time. No, it won't, sorry. 7 p.m. UK time. It starts tomorrow.
Yeah, you got
Rhea did it from 1.
Is that right?
Says Drizzy.
Okay.
I
don't
remember that.
I'd have to look that up.
Neither do I. Let's fact check it. Somebody quickly fact check it.
Is that true?
Meanwhile, Drizzy's also saying they should have bought Jordan's music from TNA. Honestly, if WWE just asked TNA for it, I think they would have given it. I think
she might even own it. I think she might even own that music.
I mean, DCX Warlord hopes that Danny Luna from TNA shows up in the Royal Rumble. That would be amazing. There's no doubt about that. And I mean, here's the thing though for me, right? I do think it's going to be either Liv or Belair for one simple reason, and that is the fact there is still a road to WrestleMania. You need someone to win it where they don't have to choose what champion they're going to go after for another month or so. And because Jade is currently distracted by Jordan Grace, I do think they could have Bianca kind of teasing going for Stephanie or Raquel if Raquel wins it. And if it's Liv Morgan, obviously she'll tease go in for Jade first and then switch it to Raquel if Raquel wins the world title or whatever. But
Rhea was number 1 in 23.
Yeah, no, it's true.
How did we forget this?
I just looked it up.
And why didn't you rank her first?
Completely spaced out. Well, to be completely honest, I thought the Bianca one was arguably more impactful coming out of the pandemic and leading to her and Sasha Banks in a main event at WrestleMania. To me, I just gave the slight nod to the Bianca side. On that
Ben,
I'm
gonna claim I had a really bad couple months leading into that Rumble, so I'm gonna get a pass on that one, not remembering that.
Yeah.
Considering, actually, I don't know what my excuse is. I went to the Mania, didn't I? I mean, we all went to that Mania.
We all went to that
We
Mania.
were on Mania fever. We didn't care.
No, I'm not even gonna make excuses. I'm just gonna pretend like it didn't happen, guys. What are we doing here?
Yeah, you guys are wrong.
Yeah.
ChatGPT's actually changed the internet.
We just
guys,
misspoke. We didn't misremember.
Yeah.
Shout out Roger Clemens.
I Googled one time if Chase Utley was on the Philadelphia's Wall of Fame thing because I didn't recall him going in. And according to Google AI, he was. He was not. So
he's still not.
He is not. Maybe this year.
Well, that is interesting, but something that is also interesting is AJ Styles versus Gunther. AJ Styles' career on the line. And when this got announced, I was fuming because for a minute, I believed AJ was actually going to lose. I believed this was going to be the end. But then they did the Nakamura match. And then they did the CM Punk match. And now I'm like, this is all too obvious. AJ Styles is a family man, and his family is not currently in Saudi Arabia. Surely they would be watching his final match. I am now absolutely 1000% convinced that AJ Styles is winning tomorrow and this retirement tour will continue all the way to WrestleMania with Gunther in an I Quit match. I think Gunther is taking a loss. I don't think it's a good booking decision overall, to be honest. I don't think they should have done any of this. But I think this AJ retirement thing, it's all a work, and I'm going to be going live on this YouTube channel just for that match tomorrow, just so when it does happen, I can laugh at all the people who are saying that I am wrong. But I'm certain AJ Styles is winning. He isn't going down yet, Clark.
I hear where you're coming from without question. Man, has he looked incredible bell to the bell over the last month. Return to form, vintage AJ Styles, turning back the clock, as they say. Like when MJ scored 50 for the Wizards. That's what AJ's looked like. And I think, to your point, in this match against Gunther, he's going to look just that good. Man, is this going to be the match of the night? Probably a 5-star classic. But the career killer is going to choke him out in Saudi Arabia. And the reality is, you're right about a lot of things, Ben, because AJ's been disrespected. And that's why we will see him in September elsewhere, ruining the WWE's plan and the disrespect that has been shown to him over this retirement run by doing it his own way and running off a series of all-time matches against an AEW roster that can handle it. Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, Samoa Joe, maybe a returning Bryan Danielson. What are we talking about here? Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Plenty of names on the list for AJ Styles to have a real retirement tour. And we'll see him in September. And he's going to ruin this whole career killer, whether you trademarked it or not. Mark my words.
Look, you're wrong. You're wrong. At the end of the day, if in a world where he did tap out, would I like him going to AEW? Absolutely. Because I'd like that to be the biggest ever FU to the WWE, because that is deserved. If Triple H has booked this man, one of the greatest of all time, somebody whose career has had a knock-on effect, which I don't really think people have even properly comprehended yet, if that is the case. A few week storyline and he taps out to Gunther. I mean, he will literally be an afterthought. Nobody will remember it. Everyone will remember Gunther beating Cena, not AJ Styles tapping out a few weeks later. The disrespect would be crazy. And we can joke all we want about Triple H, Road Dogg, all of them, Bruce Pritchard. We can joke all we want about it. In reality, they are not idiots. They're really not. They're smart people. No way would they do a legend like that. They just wouldn't.
Ben, if they trot out in Atlanta, Georgia, in any city in Georgia, the great state of Georgia, AJ Styles on a Wednesday night, it'll be like
huge.
it'll be like a Friday in Chicago without ice cream bars, Ben. That's what it'll sound like. It will be that ballistic, and you know it will, because you know it's AJ Styles. And that's why I'm saying that is the route. If it goes down, which I'm really afraid it's gonna, I think
it's not.
I'm really afraid for you, Ben. Trust me.
It's really not going to happen.
It's not what I'm rooting for. It's my prediction.
Yeah, I know, but it's wrong, right? It's too obvious. It is too obvious.
You can't be wrong on something that hasn't happened.
Well, you are.
Yet.
We'll see. Live on the stream tomorrow, Clark,
cannot
I'll be
be
laughing
wrong,
at you.
man, on something that
I'm going to be reading out receipts, right? It's going to be a read receipt in video form, live and in color. Make sure you guys come and check it out. And everybody, it's going to be an absolute burial of everybody who said otherwise, because he isn't going down yet. He's going to WrestleMania, and I'm so excited to hopefully see him there. But Anthony, I want to get your thoughts. What is going to happen in this match?
Oh, I have a speaking part for this. Okay. Now that you guys are done, I've gone back and forth with this. I think part of this, if AJ's contract is done and he doesn't want to go anymore, then yeah, Gunther would likely pick up the win. I think part of this is the perception has been, since Gunther took out Goldberg, took out Cena, we all thought, okay, well, AJ's next, Brock, Jericho. When you start naming all the people that like he could be retiring. And I could totally see Hunter, because he loves to mess with the dirt sheets and mess with the fans, of going, okay, you think Gunther's going to beat him, and then he doesn't. I think, Ben, you brought up a valid point. He would want his family there. So if they're not there, that is a red flag. If they're legitimately not there, that's a red flag, because I can't imagine AJ is going to end a 20+ year career and his family's not going to be there. That's number one. I did laugh that, people are going, oh, he's going to TNA, he's going to AEW. Oh, look, he trademarked phenomenal AJ Styles in the P1. Newsflash to you people. He's owned those trademarks for over a decade. Little throwback for you. When he originally debuted at the Royal Rumble in 2016, the reason why his tights did not have the P1 and had a 1, which he never wore before, was because even though he had his WWE deal, they hadn't worked out the licensing for the P1 yet. So that ain't new. I do think AJ, I always thought he would probably retire at Mania. I know he definitely does want to retire while he could still go. He's seen so many guys go too long, and he doesn't want that. I think in a lot of ways, like somebody pointed out, over the past 2 years, AJ's kind of been doing his retirement tour silently, with different things. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes further, because WWE just released retirement merch and all that other stuff, the 10 years and all that. I could see him going longer. Is he going to retire on a Saturday Night's Main Event like the other two did? Possibly. I could see, instead of Gunther, it being Braun Breaker, a fellow guy from Georgia in Georgia. I could see that towards the latter part of the year if they go that route, or possibly Mania. I've gone back and forth with this. I kind of thought, okay, AJ this may be it. I think when he does retire, it's in WWE, personally. He's been there longer than anywhere else. And I think he wants to retire on the grandest stage. He spent a bulk of the career in TNA, which was under the radar. I think he's still going to wrestle.
You think Styles is going to win?
I do. I've gone back and forth with this. I'm now thinking it's Styles. only because
There
because of what you said, the family's not there, and the fact that they cheated him out of the win a few weeks ago. If they didn't do that, and honestly, based on those things, and I could see them sending stuff to the dirt sheets. Oh, he won't agree to a longer contract. Oh, this, oh, that.
That's the interesting thing. So this is being like, I haven't actually seen the clip, right? So this is really bad journalism on my part. But quite a few people have brought this up now, including a few people in the YouTube comments the other day, that he said on the Undertaker podcast a couple of weeks ago that he's actually signed a deal until October.
I watched it, but I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay attention to that part of it.
It could be any time.
But I believe that. I believe I do think he's going to go through the rest of the year. Especially,
Are we sure? Are we sure he wasn't talking about his cell phone deal?
Mania.
He got rollover minutes through October.
I mean, Shard, as usual, wrong. We've got who else is saying it? DCX Warlord saying his contract doesn't end until December.
Are we also forgetting when a fan mentioned to him about AEW and he completely shot that down as like a dead issue, like a few weeks ago?
A pro wrestler.
That's the thing.
He ignored it.
He look. AJ Styles in interviews has historically always told the truth, right? In gimmick, he'll thing, but in proper interviews, he doesn't really lie. And
never give Kobe that much credit ever again. Sorry.
And he has said that he will retire in WWE, and he has been adamant about that for quite a few years. I mean, and Fernando's agreeing with me as well. Shout out to you, Fernando. Someone call Kobe. He has all the answers. Kobe is notoriously wrong.
It's all the time. Literally.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm convinced AJ Styles is staying. But up next, guys, a WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Anthony. Who do you think is going to win?
It's Drew. I know the fans are going to be mad, but I legitimately don't think Sami's going to win this one. I think it's very likely that he wins the Rumble next year and then wins the title in Saudi at WrestleMania 43. I think he's going to come up short, and they're going to go, well, it's the third time, his third big match. You know, he didn't win it in Canada against Roman a few years ago. He doesn't win it against Drew, and he has never beaten Drew. So I think the most likely scenario is he wins it Mania 43. I don't think he's winning it in Saudi. Hard fought, but won't win.
This is the faintest spoiler ever, guys. So don't worry, it's nothing major. Just a line which Sami Zayn says on SmackDown tonight if you haven't seen it. Is that there's three reasons, right? There's three stories. It's not a big promo, don't worry. There's three things. One of the things is, like you said, he's never won the WWE Championship. The second thing is, like you said, he's never beaten Drew McIntyre, lost to him 11 times. But the third thing, which I didn't know until today, is that he has never lost a match in Saudi Arabia. So I am certain, to your point, Anthony, Sami Zayn is losing. He absolutely has to, because they need to build this up for next year. Next year, WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, that needs to be his big crowning moment. I'm not even sure, honestly, if I'd have him win the Rumble next year. I think I'd leave it to as late as possible.
The chamber.
And have him literally scratch and crawl all his way to that title shot. And there we have it then. Saudi are going to be so much behind him because he's already hugely popular there. And now you suddenly put the loss at this year's Royal Rumble in it too. He is going to be a huge babyface, and it would be absolutely classic. And yes, Shard saying he was cutting a promo in Arabic on SmackDown. It was absolutely fantastic. The crowd were loving it. But I am on the same page, Anthony. Drew McIntyre has to win. Clark, what is your call?
I hear everywhere where you're coming from, and I got to come clean on this very program. I made a prediction the day they announced that Mania would be in Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania 43 in 2027. And I sat there and I was like, wait a minute. That makes perfect sense for Sami, but you know what makes more sense now is actually do it at the Rumble and give him the moment. And then over time, as time passed, I walked that back like an idiot. Well, I'm back. I'm right back where I started from. Sami Zayn gets the job done tomorrow in Saudi Arabia. And I do think unfortunately, the title hot potatoes back to Cody Rhodes sooner than I'd like. But Sami Zayn keeps his undefeated streak alive, breaks his defeated streak against Drew McIntyre, holds the WWE Championship high above his head at the Royal Rumble, and I think it'll create an excellent moment, and he's still that big of a babyface, and the loss he'll take to Cody Rhodes will be that much more special down the road.
They do have an option to do both things. If Sami wins by DQ, he technically hasn't lost in Saudi and also doesn't win the title, which
Right.
will anger the crowd, which builds them up more for when he wins it next year.
Possible as well. I still think at the end of the day, now is the time. I'm going back to what my gut instinct was when they announced it's too much pressure if he loses tonight and doesn't win the title before next year. It's too much pressure on if Sami gets injured. It's too much pressure on Sami has to remain over through next year's Mania and all
won't
of
be a
that.
problem.
Strike while the
I'm
iron
gonna
is
be
hot
honest,
enough. Strike while the iron is hot enough. The crowd reaction will be off the charts. Do it now. Let it happen. Ben, you've
Clark.
said hot potato like 15 times over the last month.
I know I have,
on
but I
this
want to
show.
mention. I want to
Do
mention
it again.
2 words to you.
Do it
right?
again.
WrestleMania 39. We were having the
Yep.
same, not you, but a lot of people are wrestling public. Anthony, for example, you were saying this exact same thing about Cody Rhodes. They waited a year and the reaction was way
And it
better.
worked. It worked.
Right
It worked. It
right
worked.
after Clark
I
and I
just
looked
do
at one another
think that
and we
there
said,
is.
next year.
I think that there's a difference here. I think now's the time. I think Sami gets the win. I truthfully, that's my prediction. I think Sami gets the win, and
here's
I think he does it clean with the haluva kick.
here's the one thing that I gotta say, Clark, and I wouldn't be opposed to Sami winning this thing, but think about it. Saudi's getting this WrestleMania. What better image do you think they could possibly want than their own WrestleMania 40 moment with Sami holding the title? That's what I think that's what they want. I think
looked
that's
at-
Oh, right. It's once in a half a decade situation, really, where we, the Daniel Bryan, the Kofi Kingston, the Cody Rhodes. Sami
I
Zayn.
look at the way that some of the boxing has been booked in Saudi Arabia, and it's amazing to me. But the way that those cards are constructed, it's star power heavy, is sort of the point. And I think that this Mania next year is going to be a unique Mania. Not that every
I know
Mania
we'll-
isn't unique in its own way, but it's going to be one where they're going to try to stack that deck like we've nearly never seen.
oh, absolutely.
Like in a cool way. It could turn out to be one of the most insane cards we've ever seen.
It will be.
But there are no obstacles from the financial side when it comes to booking 43. And the last thing I would want is for us to be like, let's put Sami in the back pocket until 43 by having him take this loss to McIntyre, and for then after the fact for him to be lost in the shuffle.
I don't
That's
think you
my
would be.
fear.
You'd build him up
It's
for the biggest
possible.
moment of his
It's-
career at a WrestleMania.
Just
I-
never know.
But there is a comment here from Shard. We've spoken about this before, Shard, right? The plan was always for Cody to beat Roman Reigns. The Rock came in and muddied the waters. That's what's happened.
He
Roman
tried to
Reigns has
shoehorn
said it.
himself
This
in,
isn't
yeah.
just Triple H saying it. Roman
Yes.
Reigns has said it as well, right?
Yes.
And at the end of the day, Cody Rhodes was hugely popular. There was no case of if The Rock... It would have been the exact same reaction if The Rock hadn't gotten involved. Now, what wouldn't have been the same is the hype for the Mania. The Rock getting involved in that Night 1 main event made the hype for the Mania even bigger. But there would have been a huge reaction at Cody Rhodes defeating Roman Reigns' reign. That would have been the case regardless. That moment would have been the same.
Yeah, just remember, Shot, keep your hands, arms, and feet inside the ring at all times. It'll be over soon. What? No, dude, stop it. The the build to Mania 39 was one thing. He takes the loss. Build to Mania 40, whether they were sure or not, lobbing out The Rock into it is funnier than anything. But Rock Roman was as exciting as it gets. Let's not lie to ourselves. on that.
I don't think
It was the
Nobody
plan.
wanted
there
it
wasn't-
because
time.
of-
there
It
wasn't that
was
much.
the
wanted it.
plan the whole time. Is such a reach.
No, that was always
What
the
are you
reach. That's
saying?
why they put them on 2 separate shows.
Cody and Reigns always was the plan, and
Yes.
they changed it when the Rock came involved. This is public knowledge.
Yes.
Okay, yes, they changed it when The Rock got involved, and they changed it back. But
Yeah.
they did have to change it. That's my point.
But
Changes
the original
happen.
plan.
Yeah, but they only changed
so
it
your
because The
point
Rock
is-
was like, I'll
your
work
point
this,
is-
and
your
he's
point
just
is there will
signed
be-
part of the company.
There will be such an overwhelming reaction that'll happen again. Is that the argument you're trying to make? Because the idea that
No,
if
I'm
that's
not.
the case
No,
on
that's not
Sammy-
what I'm saying. What I'm saying is WWE's plan, WWE's decision, right, to have Cody not win at 39 was a genius one. It absolutely was. The reaction was
And
10
out,
times
yeah.
bigger than next year. And whether The Rock
I
got
dug
involved
it,
or
even at the
not,
time.
and The Rock in ultimately getting involved made things better. But whether he got involved or not, there would have still been a huge moment, and it would have still been finished the story, right? He was already saying finish the story before The Rock got involved, right? It became a massive thing then at that point. So I don't agree with that at all, Shad. I agree with this. The popularity wouldn't have been the same because The Rock was involved. He's a huge, huge name, and it was a two-night extravaganza like we've never seen before. But beyond that. But anyway, let's now talk, guys, about the men's Royal Rumble match. Because there's been two heavy favorites all week. One is Braun Breaker and one is Roman Reigns. I said at the start of the week, coming into this week, Braun Breaker was my pick. Monday Night Raw came along in the closing segment of Monday Night Raw, where Logan Paul said, let's all help Braun Breaker win the Rumble. Confirmed to me, Braun Breaker is not winning that match. Now, tonight on SmackDown, instead of showing Fraxium's graphic, they showed a graphic of Braun Breaker entering the Royal Rumble at number 1, which confirms to me even more that he's not going to win it. So I'm convinced Roman Reigns is winning. That is the ultimate answer here. I think Roman Reigns is going to win this year's Royal Rumble, and I think he's going to fake us. He's going to go after CM Punk for a little while until Cody wins the title back at Chamber, and then they'll do the 180 and they'll do Roman Cody Night 2 WrestleMania 42. I've been saying it for months, and I still think that's the play, that's the route they're going down. I think the report that they've now changed direction is Triple H working the dirt sheets, which we know he loves to do. I think that's this year's twist. I think they've done the diversion just to not make it not feel like they're trying to chuck that match down our throats. But that is the match which they're going to do, in my opinion. But Anthony, I want to know your pick.
I think it's Roman. I think Roman wins the Rumble. I think he's going to go for Punk, and they're going to replay Roman, Punk, Rollins for the title. That's what I think. I think on SmackDown, it's going to be Drew, it's going to be Cody, and it's going to be Jacob Fatu. I think they're doing 2 triple threat matches for the world titles this year. That's what I'm thinking. I think Cody Roman will happen eventually again for the trilogy. And I thought they could possibly be going this year, but I really think when they do it, Cody's going to be the heel. And Cody hasn't turned yet. So that's why I'm leaning towards,
Here's the thing. I don't think Roman Reigns is going to be in the business when Cody turns heel. I really don't. I think we are genuinely looking at 5 years' time. We've got to wait until there's another babyface that big, and I don't think there's going to be one for a few years, because right now, I mean, who's it going to be?
Here's the thing. Roman works a reduced schedule to begin with, and how many years did Taker stick around and only come in for Mania? They were calling him Santa Claus backstage. Let's be real. Roman could easily do the same thing and still get a pop no matter when he's out there.
I don't know. The other issue I have is in that situation here. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins would look like idiots a little bit if they don't come back and work a big program. Breaker destroyed Rollins' plan. He put him on the shelf. He speared him. They have to be involved together at WrestleMania if Rollins is back in time.
Here's the thing. You have a number of different options. You could have Breaker go from 1 and destroy everybody, but I think it's more dramatic, especially if he does it in the chamber. Watching him destroy people in the chamber is a lot more. Yeah. That's how you build somebody, a monster. He has a dominant run in the Rumble, but doesn't win it, and then does the chamber. And they could, he could win the chamber and ask for the title match beforehand and make it a 4-way. They can go 4-way with it. I'm not opposed to that.
That's right. Yeah, it would have to be a 4-way. That is an option, though. A 4-way definitely is an option, and it's an option which would make sense too. Because look, Roman Reigns still has issues with Braun Breaker.
I
And Braun
mean,
Breaker still has issues with Roman Reigns.
I mean, if they word it in a certain way, that whoever wins the chamber could challenge the champion, is there necessarily a rule saying that they can't challenge the same champion as the Rumble winner? Technically, I don't know.
Usually there is, yeah.
But I'm
Usually
saying, let's say
the
they
winner
don't. Let's say
faces.
they leave it ambiguous. They could run with that. And especially since Breaker has dirt on Pierce based on this, so they might be able to bend the rules this year.
And Drizzy saying he thought Cody was entering at number 1. No, this was just the internet, because I don't think the internet at times understands the English language. Basically, what happened was Cody Rhodes said that I'm officially announcing myself as the first entrant into this year's Royal Rumble, meaning he was the first person to actually declare himself.
Yeah.
The internet took it as, oh, he's number 1, when that's never what he said. But Clark, I do want to get your thoughts on this. Who do you think is winning the men's 2026 Royal Rumble? Oh, apparently I'm on screen.
Well, who do you think? Jeez. I thought you said
I'll
Roman
go
Reigns.
again.
Yeah, man, I'm going to totally change it up. It's totally going to be, it's Roman Reigns. What are we doing, guys? Come on. What are we doing here? There's never been a more obvious Rumble winner ever in the history of the Rumble. Roman wins this one. It's going to be an awesome Rumble. The key to me is going to be who goes over in the other ways, who lasts the longest, who has the most eliminations. I love the idea of Obafemi with most eliminations. I love the idea of maybe Braun Breaker lasting the longest. I think that would be very smart from a statistical standpoint. But Roman Reigns has to win this Rumble. And not only that, you're talking to a fellow here who's been a fan of all combat sports his whole life. And I've seen trilogies and rivalries the whole time, right? I lived through Tyson Holyfield. You know, I lived through John Jones, Daniel Cormier, right? I still want John Jones, Tom Aspinall. I still want George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva. I still want all these different fights. We got Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao once too late. We should have had 3 of those. Strike while the iron is hot. You know, I hate cliches, but I do happen to like that one. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, put it on the marquee. Night 2 in Las Vegas. It's a walk-up town. There will be no walk-ups at WrestleMania 42 if it's Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes on the marquee. It will be long sold out. That's the match. Do it now. Let's not waste time. Let's get it over with.
Absolutely, I agree, because you got the Braun Breakers, you got the Obafemis. And I mean, Obafemi might be a couple of years until he's in the main event, but Braun Breaker genuinely could be in the main event next year.
I mean, I think Braun Breaker could be in the main event as soon as arguably SummerSlam. I'd love to see
about WrestleMania main event.
No, I understand that, but I mean, if he main events SummerSlam, I feel like that's the litmus test. Next year, yeah, I mean, SummerSlam being 2 nights, yes, it's not Mania, but it is still such a huge summer event that size. I would actually love to see him, whether it is night 1 or night 2, in a main event there as the litmus test. Not that I don't think it's possible, even as soon as this Mania. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not probable, but it is possible for sure.
Is.
Like, it's not out of the question, right? Braun has a lot going. I feel like things have cool. It's tough when you don't have, everybody wants us to pay off the Seth thing. So we're sort of just waiting on the,
yeah, it
right?
really is a little bit of a
he's in
waiting
a
thing.
tough spot in that situation. I feel like we haven't spoken about that enough because sometimes it's easy to point at like, well, what, right? Like Breaker's doing good work, but what does it really matter? It's like, because there's this layer in the back of your mind of like, well, we want him and Seth Rollins to happen, game. Right? It's like,
Clark,
and I think we can run into that with Cody and Roman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clark, I think you're right. That's one of those things. Everything is timing in wrestling. And that was like some weeks back, one of the Mailbag Mondays. And I got asked a question about LA Knight from Paul Walter Hauser. And it was like, why wasn't he pushed and this and that? And I'm like, he was in a difficult spot because when he was at his peak over, Roman was champion and he was never the guy. Cody was always the guy. So you couldn't pull the trigger. And I think Breaker's in this weird situation too, because now there's this added thing with Seth and like people want to see that. So are you going to pull the trigger on that? And if you do, let's say Seth's not fully ready to go for Mania, is he the one that costs Breaker if Breaker's in that spot? Like that, you know what I mean? Like that's what you have.
Yeah,
Potential.
I mean, I'm personally, I've been saying it for months now, but I'm going to say it again right now. I've said it since Seth got injured, but I think night one is going to be Punk world title against both Seth and Braun Breaker. So I agree with your threat theory, Anthony. I just think it's Breaker instead of Reigns. But then night two, it's Cody versus Roman. I
wouldn't be
reckon we
opposed
are
to
going
that.
to solve all of these issues in 2 nights at WrestleMania. And again, that's a litmus test as well for Braun Breaker, because he's going to be on main event of night one. We've got quite a few comments. Shard saying Femi will be in the main event scene next year. I know main event scene. I'm talking about WrestleMania Night 2 main event is what I'm talking about there. He'll be in the world title scene. I'm absolutely certain about. Numero one saying, remember when Big Show declared himself for number 1 in the Rumble, only to realize he entered at a different number instead. That is absolutely hilarious. I forgot about that. Bonkers is saying that an outside pick is Femi. I mean, look, to have him win this Rumble, I don't think they're going to do it, but if they did do it, that would be incredible. Drizzy says Finn Balor will win the Rumble after taking someone out. We know there was no space for him. It was full. It wasn't really full. We know Problematic Pierce is a liar. Becky Lynch exposed the fraud. It's becoming more and more true the longer that we go along. And Finn Balor, I feel really bad for you. Somebody really needs to set up a GoFundMe so we can redo this Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia in a couple of weeks' time, but with Finn Balor at number 30 instead. But that, guys, does bring us to the end of the show. Thank you to Clark. Thank you to Anthony. We will be back tomorrow immediately following the Royal Rumble to review it. And I will be live during AJ Styles versus Gunther to laugh at everybody who says I'm wrong, including Clark and Shard in the comments as well. All of you guys, receipts are coming. It's going to be a shopping center, the amount of receipts which are going to be coming out, honestly. But that does, guys, bring us to the end of today's show. I'll see you tomorrow.